beneath the gray waters of the North Atlantic lies a graveyard, silent, endless, and filled with ghosts. For centuries, ships have vanished here without warning. Some struck ice, others fell to storms, a few were simply never seen again. This isn't just an ocean, it's a mystery written in salt and sorrow. This is the story of the ocean that keeps its secrets, and the countless souls who never made it home. The North Atlantic is not just any ocean, it's a collision zone, where cold, dark waters from the Arctic crash into the warmer, restless Gulf Stream from the south. This meeting of currents creates chaos, sudden fog banks, violent waves, and unpredictable winds that can change direction in seconds. For centuries, this region has been the main route for trade, migration, and war between Europe and the Americas. But behind every voyage of fortune lies a risk of tragedy. Without warning, calm skies can turn into monstrous tempests. Winds roar at over 100 kilometers an hour. Waves rise as tall as 10-story buildings. And when a ship is caught in one of these storms, there's nowhere to run. Just endless water and a fight to survive. Even modern ships built with reinforced steel and advanced navigation can find themselves powerless against nature's fury. Rogue waves, invisible icebergs, and freezing spray can tear apart even the strongest hulls. Add to that the bone-chilling temperatures, capable of freezing men solid within minutes, and you begin to understand why so many vessels never return. In the North Atlantic, a single mistake, a single storm, or even a shift in the wind can mean the difference between life and legend. April 14th, 1912. The RMS Titanic, the unsinkable marvel of her time, sails proudly through the freezing North Atlantic on her maiden voyage. Just before midnight, a massive iceberg, born from the glaciers of Greenland, drifts silently into her path. Moments later, violent shudders race through the steel. The ship's hull is torn open like paper. Within hours, the pride of human engineering is gone. Swallowed by the icy blackness below. More than 1,500 souls lost. Today, the Titanic lies preserved in those same dark waters, a monument to human ambition and the power of nature. But her story wasn't the first, and it certainly wasn't the last. Icebergs have always been one of the Atlantic's greatest killers. Each year, hundreds break free from the Arctic, drifting south into some of the world's busiest shipping routes. Even after the Titanic tragedy led to the implementation of new safety laws and the creation of the International Ice Patrol, the danger never completely disappeared. Fog, darkness, and freezing spray still cloak the sea. And to a ship's radar, an iceberg can look like nothing more than a shadow. For sailors, that shadow can be the last thing they ever see. The Titanic was a warning, a reminder that even the strongest creations of man are fragile in the face of nature's oldest force, the ocean itself. The North Atlantic doesn't just destroy ships with storms and ice. Sometimes it swallows them in silence. Where the frigid Labrador Current collides with the warm Gulf Stream, the sea becomes a factory of fog, thick, suffocating, and endless. Sailors call it the Gray Curtain. Visibility drops to almost nothing. You can barely see the bow of your own ship. For centuries, captains depended on stars, compasses, and pure instinct. But in the fog, those lifelines vanish. A wrong turn could send a ship crashing into hidden reefs, colliding with another vessel, or drifting hopelessly off course. Many never found their way back. Others struck land without warning, breaking apart on the jagged coasts of Newfoundland and Nova Scotia. And beneath those cold waters today lies a graveyard, thousands of wrecks, from humble fishing boats to grand ocean liners, all resting beneath layers of coral and silt. In the North Atlantic, danger doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers through the fog. The sea turned even deadlier during the great wars of the 20th century. The North Atlantic, once a highway of trade and migration, became a vast and merciless battlefield. German U-boats lurked in the depths, stalking merchant convoys that carried precious cargo like food, fuel, weapons, and soldiers. To travel these waters was to gamble with death. In just 1 year of World War II, more than 400 ships were sent to the bottom of the Atlantic. Torpedoes struck without warning. Flames swallowed the night sky. Survivors often had minutes, sometimes seconds, before the freezing water claimed them. One of the earliest and most shocking tragedies came in 1915, when the RMS Lusitania was torpedoed off the coast of Ireland. Nearly 1,200 people perished as the luxury liner sank in just 18 minutes. The attack stunned the world, shifting public opinion and helping draw the United States into the war. Even today, explorers continue to find the remains of that underwater graveyard. Tankers, destroyers, and silent submarines lying side by side in the dark. Each wreck tells a story not of nature's wrath, but of human conflict, of courage, fear, and sacrifice played out beneath the unforgiving waves of the North Atlantic. In 1991, nature unleashed one of its most terrifying tempests. 3 powerful weather systems, a hurricane, a cold front, and a nor'easter, merged off the coast of New England, creating what meteorologists later called the perfect storm. Winds screamed across the waves, churning the ocean into chaos. At the heart of this fury was a commercial fishing vessel, the Andrea Gale. Her 6-man crew fought valiantly for hours as waves rose like moving mountains, some reaching over 100 feet high. Then came their final transmission. "She's coming on, boys, and she's coming on strong." Those were the last words ever heard from the Andrea Gale. The ship and her crew vanished into the storm, leaving only fragments of debris to wash ashore days later. Their story became legend, immortalized in books and film, a haunting testament to human bravery and the ocean's unrelenting power. Because in the North Atlantic, courage may help you fight the storm, but nothing can truly conquer it. The Titanic may be the most famous shipwreck in history, but it's far from the only one claimed by the North Atlantic and its unforgiving waters. In 1914, just 2 years after the Titanic's tragedy, the RMS Empress of Ireland met a hauntingly similar fate. Sailing through dense fog along the St. Lawrence River, she collided with a Norwegian coal ship, tearing a massive gash in her hull. Within 14 minutes, the Empress was gone, taking with her over 1,000 lives. Rescue boats arrived too late. Survivors described the sound of the ship's final groan as it slipped beneath the black water. Then, during World War II, the Atlantic became a battleground. In 1945, the SS Sapa, a British cargo vessel carrying over 200 tons of silver, was torpedoed by a German U-boat. She sank to the ocean floor, nearly 15,000 feet deep, where she remained hidden for decades, until Devers recovered her glittering cargo in 2013, a ghostly reminder of war's reach beneath the waves. And even the inland waters of the continent weren't safe. In 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, one of the largest freighters to sail the Great Lakes, disappeared during a ferocious November storm on Lake Superior. 29 crew members perished. Not a single body was ever recovered. The wreck's discovery at the lake's bottom inspired songs, poems, and countless theories about what went wrong that night. Different ships, different centuries, but all face the same oceanic truth, that water has no memory, only power. Whether it's fog, ice, or storm, the sea writes its own history, one shipwreck at a time. For centuries, sailors have spoken in hushed voices about phantom vessels, the Flying Dutchman, the Mary Celeste, and countless others said to wander the waves for eternity, forever searching for a home they'll never reach. Maybe these stories were born from fear, the mind's way of giving shape to the mysteries of the deep. Or maybe, somewhere out there, in that cold and endless expanse, a few of those legends still drift beneath the fog. Because the North Atlantic isn't just an ocean, it's a living myth, a place where science and superstition collide, where every wave carries whispers of those who never returned. And as long as ships dare to cross it, the sea will keep writing new stories. Stories of courage, of tragedy, and of the thin line between the living and the lost. Every wreck beneath these waters is more than metal and rust. It's a frozen moment in time. The North Atlantic doesn't choose its victims. It simply reminds us who's in charge. For every calm horizon, there's a storm waiting just beyond sight, and every voyage carries a whisper of the ones who never returned. The sea doesn't bury its secrets. It keeps them, patiently, endlessly, waiting to be found. If you were drawn into this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us again. Because in the North Atlantic, the next mystery is always rising with the tide.